Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. It's our big international story this Monday morning. President Cyril Ramaphosa is currently in China for a state visit and to attend the Forum for China-Africa Cooperation Summit. Now, Chinese President Xi Jinping and Ramaphosa are expected to make major announcements on trade relations and other global political issues. Watching developments for us is SABC News International Editor Sophie Mokoena, who joins us now live from Beijing. And I wonder, Sophie, what we can expect from these gatherings.
Well, you are correct. Today, President Cyril Ramaphosa will be meeting his Chinese counterpart, President Xi Jinping. As you know, that last year when President Xi Jinping was in South Africa for the BRICS summit, both leaders had a meeting because President Xi Jinping did embark on a state visit in South Africa where announcements were made in terms of how China is willing to assist South Africa on many fronts, including the challenge of electricity, issues of agriculture, issues of infrastructure, and also at political level. Yesterday, the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Ronald Lamola, met his Chinese counterpart, and they ironed out what needs to be discussed today. And he spoke to us yesterday, pointing out that key on the agenda will be issues related to infrastructure, agriculture, electricity, but also looking at the current global political events around the world. You know that China is South Africa's largest trading partner, and of course, Africa in general has got strong relationship with China. And also South Africa is the largest trading partner of China on the continent. And therefore, South Africa being a gateway to China, I guess it is quite important that the two leaders do meet. And I can say to you that since the appointment of ministers by President Cyril Ramaphosa, I'm talking about ministers from other political parties, this will be his first state visit where he's accompanied by ministers from opposition parties such as the Minister of Infrastructure and the Minister of Agriculture, who is also the leader of the Democratic Alliance in South Africa. And therefore, it will be interesting to hear what these ministers will say after the state visit, because you know that DA in particular has been very critical of South Africa's relationship with China, and this time around they are part of the government of national unity, and therefore there must be synergy. And you heard earlier on the Minister of Infrastructure in South Africa already pointed out that his department will be working with China to strengthen the relationship in relation to building of infrastructure in South Africa, and therefore that will be very interesting. But you also have the Minister of Small Business here, Stella Ndabeni, who will be here to ensure that whatever agreements are signed, small business in South Africa does benefit. You also have the Premier of Limpopo, Dr. Phophi Ramathuba, who is here, and I guess, as you know, that you have lots of mining activities in Limpopo, and those minerals are quite important for China, and therefore I guess the Premier is here to see how China can assist Limpopo in particular in those mining industries, how they can develop a better beneficiation process. Minister Lamula yesterday talking about, when I asked him about trade, that is skewed in favor of China, saying that the major agreements that will be signed or announced here today will pave way to try and level the playing field. And you know that even on the continent, there's a call that China must do something to ensure that much as particularly the poorer countries are getting assistance, financial backup from China in relation to infrastructure, these countries don't find themselves in the debt trap because they can't pay back. And I spoke to the ambassador of South Africa, of China in South Africa last month. He pointed out that this is something that China is aware of and is working hard to ensure that they do help these countries that are facing challenges. And this meeting or the state visit comes ahead of the Africa a meeting with China, normally called FOCAC, Forum for China-Africa Cooperation Summit. At times the summit is held in Africa, at times the summit is held in China, and therefore this time around it is China hosting African heads of state. And many have arrived. I saw the president of Zambia, I saw the president of Nigeria, I saw the president of Zimbabwe, and I also saw the head of government in Lesotho, who is also here to look for those opportunities. It will be interesting after the meeting to hear what President Ramaphosa and President Xi Jinping will have to say in terms of particularly improving trade between South Africa and China. And yesterday, Minister Lamula talking about agricultural products, also hoping that there will be agreements around that where South Africa can export more agricultural products to the country that is currently standing at number 2 as the largest country around the world. Back to you in studio. We'll bring you update as soon as the President and President Xi Jinping have met.
And we look forward to it. Sophie Mokoena, for now, thanks very much indeed. Sophie's live to us there from Beijing in China. That's where we're expecting these multilateral engagements to finally get underway between today and tomorrow.